So I'm thrilled and very excited to have Amit as my first guest on a series of webinars and videocasts that I'll be hosting throughout 2021. Guests who are really aligned with my mission to promote financial literacy, personal and business success. Amit is an international best-selling author, strategic business consultant, and certified success coach who specializes in helping business owners structure their business for maximum profit. Amit is the founder and president of Your Profound Solutions Inc. He has co-authored books and leading industry experts with leading industry experts Brian Tracy, Robert Allen, and Raymond Aaron. He has been featured on national television and various podcasts. So with that, let's welcome Amit. Welcome, Amit. You and I have been talking for quite a while, and I've been following your posts regularly and learning a lot about your ideas and strategies to achieving business success or goals.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shiv. Thank you for having me today because I know how amazingly powerful you are in terms of, bringing results in your community. And that's why I'm really blessed and honored that you invited me on this platform today.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I'm really delighted
Thank
to
you.
to really talk about things that are probably very important for a lot of business owners. So why don't you start with your personal introduction and let our audience know how you got to where you're at and what motivated you to become a coach.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Shiv. And that's really an interesting story, how I got into this field of business coaching. Because right from the beginning, I was always interested in the business side of things. So I worked as an employee for a certain amount of time, but I always had the goal and intentions of becoming an entrepreneur. That somehow always excited me, having, live life on my terms, on my timings, having that freedom was always really important for me. And having that idea in mind, that's when I started getting into businesses. And when I started to do businesses, I was finding out I was discovering something really amazing, that I was really, really good at what I was doing. Like, for example, I started with healthcare. Healthcare was my background. And that's why the first business that I started was in healthcare. And when I started that business, I realized that I'm really good as a healthcare professional. Okay, good. That's amazing. But when I take that into a business world, I want to do that same profession as a business. Now it's a whole different ballgame.
Mhm.
And that's where, a lot of entrepreneurs, even now, when I'm looking at them, that's where they're struggling. It's not what they're doing as their core expertise. They're really good at what they're doing, but when they take it as a business, now they want to, sell their products or offer their services as a business. Now they need a whole different, sort of moving parts that have to be analyzed and put in place for the business to be successful. And when I realized that, when I had that discovery, and I went through a lot of channels, a lot of struggles, a lot of learning curves, right? And was my realization. I said, oh my God, if a person is really good at what they're doing, why are they still not making money? Why are they still not successful? Is because they're missing these components of business. And I started talking to people about these components. I said, this is what you need in business. And they were totally unaware of these things. Sometimes they were aware, but they didn't know exactly how to put it into practice. And that's where suddenly I found myself talking and teaching and coaching people about how they can be successful in business. And I said, oh my God, this gives me so much pleasure because it creates results for them. And that's where I said, you know what, that's my thing now. And that's why I can start businesses. I can help people to start businesses, and I can make them successful at whatever point they are to go to the next level.
That is such an interesting story. A lot of people sort of fall into something. Other people decide or have a choice of doing something that they love to do, right?
Yes.
And it really clearly shows to me that you have a passion for what you're doing, right? And
Absolutely.
and you want to see other people succeed. And you know, I think it's commendable. It's really commendable. It's a lot of work, you know. Yeah.
It
So
is for
I
sure.
applaud you, and I won't take much of your time. So let's get into the crux of
Yes.
what we're going to talk about, and let's start with that.
Thank you, Shiv. And here I want to also congratulate you for the amount of success you've achieved, because though we know each other for a short period of time, like we don't have years and years of friendship, but even the short amount of time that we've known each other, I've seen what you do for your community, the value that you bring to your community, how you enhance and always thinking of people to get results for them. And that's where when we had this conversation some months ago, it kind of clicked for both of us. I said, okay, good. As long as we're trying to help out, do our best to get results for people, boom, we are in the game together. So
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate that. It's always been my thinking that selling is one thing, but it's actually providing solutions to people's problems, right?
exactly.
Do the same thing, but in different faculties.
Exactly.
I provide information. I provide solutions to my clients with their financial issues, and
Hmm.
you're providing solutions to people who need help, especially what we have gone through in the last 18 months with pandemic. It's just been trying for a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of your posts about discussing how to get out of that. It's
Yes.
that mindset. People get into their mindset and they get depressed, right?
Yes.
What do I do? I always see problems as challenges.
Hmm.
That we take them as problems, but they're really challenges to overcome. And
Correct.
sometimes you need somebody to guide you with that, right? Like a
Yes,
teacher. Oh,
absolutely.
and
Yes.
I do believe that your what you provide is so important to people. So
Thank you.
that's one of the things you're going to be talking about, some business strategies, and let's get into that because I'm really excited about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Shiv. Yes. So, what we're going to talk about today is really something that can be implemented in your business right away, because I do believe in immediate results. I mean, you have to look at your business and start something, taking action, but not from the point of view that, oh, I'm going to start today so that I see something, 10 years from now. Well, that's good. But as long as you start seeing something along the way, that's the whole secret of success. Like, you're not saying, that once I make that $10 million, then I'll call myself successful. That's not the point, right? As long as you're in the journey, you're seeing those small improvements, you're seeing these successes, you should acknowledge that, you should validate that, and that's how you reach the next level. So, starting with that background information, I want to get into the presentation, get into the context that I wanted to share with you today. And this is the name of my company. It's called Your Profound Solutions, and this is the website. And this particular website will introduce you to what we do as a company, what services and products we offer. And there are lots of goodies, by the way, on this website. So there is some free information in there. There is some free training in there. So make sure that you visit this site so that you can get all that information.
Right.
Now, today, what we're going to focus on is I'm going to talk about the 5 C's of business. There are 5 C's of business that are very, very crucial. Now, first of all, you should know them. You should exactly know what those 5 C's are, and look at what level can you start applying this information in your business. So, if you are a business right now, if you have, if you're a mid-size, small-size business, which you have 20 to 30 employees, at that level, how can you apply this information? Whereas in some cases, you might be an entrepreneur and you've just in business for about 3 years, you have maybe, some clients. How can you apply this? So as you're listening to this conversation today, I want you to look at it from your viewpoint. I like to look at the application of what we're discussing, okay, not just the concept,
Yeah.
because the concept that I'm discussing is a very, very down to earth concept that needs to be applied. And that's why it will work for you. Okay. So the first C, Shiv, should I share the first C of business?
Absolutely. Yeah. Start with that.
Okay, yes. We're going to have lots of interaction. By the way, if you need to connect to me, make sure that you connect on this particular platform. You can chat, you can send a message, you can send an email. to me directly through my website or my personal email, and then we can get in touch and get you going on the path to success. So the first C that I want to talk about today is being cause. Being cause, like in business, this is one of the major component that you need to be cause in your business. Now, this is especially important, like Shiv was just mentioning, the phase that we went through right now. Like it was a pandemic and we're still going through it. We're still not out of the woods. But how do you deal with all these things that are happening around you? How do you still say, you know what, whatever is happening, I take charge. I still want to be cause in my business. So it's not that you're ignoring what's happening, because you really cannot ignore what's going on around. But given the circumstances, how can you still be cause? Because, Shiv, it's so amazing that I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, I talk to a lot of business owners, and I see this shift in their mindset. Some people have actually accelerated their business two or three times during this pandemic. And there are some businesses that are shutting down. So there is a business model component attached to it. There is a type of business that they used to and all that, which is all true. But the thing is, being cause over whatever is happening right now is really the first step. And it may not be that if you are coming from a viewpoint that, oh my God, this is too huge for me. Like, how can I be cause over everything? Start with what can you be cause over right now? Right now, what can you be cause over the next hour in your life? Can you cause something in the next hour without being an effect of what's going on in the business world, what's happening with the market? Then they might say, yeah, I can be cause. Okay, good. That's a good starting point. And you start being cause and you step it up. And before you know, you'll start to be cause over more and more things in your business. And that's how you kind of get to that route that you really want to accomplish, get to that goal, get to that target, one step at a time.
Oh, that's awesome. Something really struck me as you talk about the cause. Over the last 18 months, I've had several conversations with my clients who are self-employed, and how they really dealt with this pandemic issue, because it certainly affected the first, I think 3 or 4 weeks. They were trying to figure out as to what's going to happen. And unfortunately, some of them had to lay off some people.
I see.
So then they started thinking about, and they were talking to a lot of people. In fact, they were, they called me and they said, what, Shiv, tell us about, what should we do financially? And so I think one of the things that I was thinking about the same thing, because now all of a sudden I'm used to seeing my clients.
Yeah.
That's how I've done my business all my life. And all of a sudden I had to shift.
Yes.
I had to make changes in my business practice to adapt to what was happening, to the cause.
Exactly. 100%. I mean, I was talking to one of my client, his client, he's always an in-person, business owner. Like, he'll go and meet his clients, he'll talk to them, he'll sit beside their, on the table in their kitchen, and then they'll discuss the deals and all that. So he was such a hands-on, in-person type of a business owner. And with this whole pandemic, his entire business had to shift. And, when we had the discussion, I said, yes, that's exactly what you need to do. And we do da. And he actually in a position right now where he is so ready, to, of course, he didn't lose that in person. So he might still do something as things open. But, oh my God, this person is a different person now than what he was 2 years ago.
So it's really in the mindset, right?
Yes. Big mindset.
So when you see a cause, I just thought about it because it was kind of interesting. I was thinking we always use the word because.
Yes.
And I just thought about it. I said, you know what? Be a cause for the change.
Exactly. And it's it's very, very interesting how things will start changing once you start and you acknowledge that, you know what? Yes, I can be cause. Because right now the whole idea of people is that, oh, what can I do about it? And that's the worst attitude to have. It's the worst attitude to have, because that doesn't help you.
Yeah.
If you say, oh, I can do nothing about it, that means you cannot do anything about it. That means you cannot do business, you cannot have income. Worst thing, you cannot help others.
Yes.
Okay, so when you start with that, okay, what can I do? Can I call some of my clients and see what help they need and offer some help? Boom, that's a start. That's a huge start.
Absolutely.
So that would be the first C, getting into that that thinking that, what, you need to be cause over something, whatever you can right now in your life, start to be cause over your business, over your life. That's the first C. That's a very powerful first C. Actually, it's a
It
very,
is.
very good start. So thank you, Shiv, for sharing your experience also. And, the reason why you're successful in business, because you decided to be cause.
Yeah.
You decided to be cause. I mean, there's no other reason. Like if you had said, oh, you know what, it's pandemic and nobody's buying anything, so I'll just wait for the pandemic and blah, blah. That's it. So that's the first thing. The
Yeah.
second C that I want to talk about, and it's a really interesting, it's a different viewpoint on business. The second C that I want to talk about is actually creativity.
Right.
Is creativity. Like even if you are in a business world and you think, oh, you know what, I'm that high level business owner, so I should always be, in that. Some people have this notion that creativity and businesses do not go together. Okay, and my what I'm trying to tell you is actually it's exactly opposite. You need to be creative in business. You need to be creative in business, and this ties up with the earlier discussion that if something has a block, if there is a problem, if there is a challenge, you need to get creative about how you can overcome that challenge.
Yeah.
That you cannot stick to that old notion that no, I'm always used to doing business and this is how it's done and blah blah blah. No. If it's not working, just adapt, just make those changes so that you can adopt a new way to do things and still get the same result. So creativity is a very, very important component of business, and you need to be creative. If you're not creative in business, and if you're stuck on, and excellent examples I can share with you, Shiv, is businesses like Blockbuster, right? Businesses like BlackBerry, they had concept, they had a very good product, they had a very, very good brand. I mean, any person that lived in those years, everybody knew Blockbuster,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
even being so successful, having a different business model, having an exact logo, they still don't exist today. The only reason is they did not get into this creativity mode, looking at the challenges that they are going to face, and they just stuck to that same model that they were working on, right?
Yes.
And that's what I mean by creativity. If they would have got into this game much earlier, right? Because they did change, they did start to get a little bit of creative, but but by that time it was too late. Netflix had already taken over and all that. But if they were creative early enough in the game, then we would have still had 2 or 3 services offering these kind of services. So just being creative is a very, very important component, and being creative, coming up with new ideas is the key, is a very, very important key to be successful in business. What would you say about that, Shiv?
You know what? I say when things change, you need to change,
Yes.
right? And adapt to it. So if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, really is a definition of insanity, in my opinion, right? You got to change, you got to adapt. And some things are very uncomfortable for some people. If they've never used technology, for example, um, you, you know, I had to adapt to technology, and I was using technology, but more so now than I ever did before.
Mm-hmm.
To make technology my friend in order to get things done without having to see people.
Right, right. Exactly. In person.
So you have to be creative and say, oh, how can I use this? How can I
Yes.
do this? How can I do that? How can I
Yeah.
reach out and send my message out to my clients or people that who want to talk to me? So yeah, I had to get creative. Um, I had to do things, and obviously, it's not something. It's not like turnkey. You start technology, and okay, the very next day, I'm going to start seeing results. I'm going to start seeing getting calls from my clients. No, it doesn't happen overnight. You have to be patient, and you have to keep getting good at it, and practice. That's the thing. So obviously, if I look back 18 months, I started on my quest probably, I say probably 14 months, 15 months ago, or 16
Mhm.
months ago. I started this. Said, okay, I'm going to get on that journey now, and enough of kind of blaming everything on pandemic, because
Yes.
it's not going anywhere. The only person that's is going to affect is me and my family. So I got to change. I got to do things a little differently. So obviously, I got in touch with people that who were experts in that. And
Right.
similarly, if any issues, somebody needs to get help in terms of start to follow these 5 C's. I strongly suggest they get in touch with you,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you. Yes,
If they
because
have,
what we're talking today is just the overview. What are these seven
yeah,
C's? But the application of this is very, very specific. Very specific. Like, how can you apply this in your business? So, if you get into touch with me, I can show you exactly how this applies in your business. What can you do? What ideas you can come up with so that you will create results. Now, the next C is, of course, one of the key components of my own business. And this is something that I have used in my business. And without the next C, I can guarantee you that the businesses will not succeed. Okay. So here comes the next C. This is the third C out of our 5C. And the third C is having a coach. Having a coach. This is so critical in a business because the funny thing is, Shiv, when we look at Olympic uh, players, or when we look at medalists, that always are winning. You see all these people, these Olympic champions or sports athletes. You'll see they always have a coach,
yeah,
right? They will never say that, oh, you know what, I'm going to try the Olympics, but I'm going to do it myself.
yeah, I know.
Right, they'll never say that. They know the importance of a coach, and they'll hire, like, depending on what level they want to go. If they just want to go to a local league, they might hire a local coach. But if their goal is to eventually go to the Olympics, they will make sure that they hire the best coach that they can, at a specific, very, very specific industry. Like, you specialize in finance, so if somebody wants or has questions about finance, they should contact you.
Yeah.
Right, it's a very, very specific thing, because the reason why you're not successful in a specific area, the level that you want to, is because you don't understand something in that area. And one of the fastest way to get this understanding, this knowledge, is through a coach. And that's why having that third component, that third C in your business, which is a coach, totally changes the game.
Yeah.
And I have, I have, for this the third C, I have experience from both. I have some amazing coaches and mentors in my life that have totally changed, my personal life as well as my business life, and it continues to evolve. This is not just a one-time thing. I say, because sometimes I hear people, oh yeah, I already have one coach. Well, good for you. That's for one area. What about the other areas? How are you doing in other areas? So you look at what help you need from different coaches, and you can talk to different coaches as long as they are in different areas of your life. So don't hire, like, if you have, like, even for me, I'm being very, very honest with you, if you already have a business coach that is giving you the results, because the results is the main thing. It's not
Absolutely.
just having a coach, right? The results. If you are getting the results that you want in terms of your business, the results that you want in terms of income in your business, excellent, go for it. But if you don't have the results, if you're really struggling with that, and you say, no, but I have a coach, well, it's time to look at that. It's definitely time to look at that. So the whole focus of a coach is results, and I strongly believe in that. And whenever I offer my programs, it comes with a very strong guarantee. Comes with a very strong guarantee, because I'm confident not just about my products and your services that I offer, but I'm confident that you as a client can produce the result. Okay. My confidence is not just in my products. That's just 50% of it. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But the other 50% comes from the client, because once they are shown the way, once they are sort of motivated to do certain specific actions, and if they do it, I know that they're going to be successful.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. So having this third C, which is the coach, and I come from both the viewpoints, because I've had coaches, I still have coaches, and I do coaching and mentoring for my clients. So I cannot just ignore the third C. That's why it kind of comes in the center of the 5 Cs.
Absolutely. This is absolutely, you're right on with the third C. Uh, all our lives, sometimes we have coaches, even our partners, for example, they're coaching us. Our kids are coaching us as well, in different areas, right? They're teaching us. It's up to us to actually learn that lesson.
Yeah.
Can be there for you, but you have to do the work.
Yes, 100%. 100%, Shiv, right on.
Yeah, it's not like a magic wand and say, okay, you know what? I have a coach. I'll be successful. No, you have to do the work.
Yes, exactly, exactly. In fact, Shivan, that's a very, very good point that you brought out, because a real coach will not actually tell you what to do. This is crazy.
Yeah,
But if you know a real coach, if you know that a coach is really helping you, the best way that the coach can help you is not by telling you what to do. You don't want a person that will tell you everything. Oh, this, do this, do this, do this. That's not the role of a coach. But the real role of a coach is basically to guide you, to show you the paths that are available, and then you pick what's best for you.
absolutely,
You
absolutely.
need to pick.
Yeah. So to add to that, I think um, if you think, well, I need to be accountable to my coach. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
I think you have to be accountable to yourself, and
Yeah.
you have to have the integrity in doing that, because if you're not accountable to yourself, then you're not going anywhere. You'll always have
Exactly.
excuses, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. And again, if the coach is just telling you what to do, then it may not be true for you, and actually it will not work. It may be good for the coach, it may be very, very good for the coach, it may have worked in his or her life, but if it's not true for you and you're just doing it as an effect, you're just doing it because, oh, my coach told me to do this, that's why I'm doing this, it will actually not work.
Yeah.
It will actually not work. So
100%. 100%. I agree.
thank you. It's a different approach. Generally, people have this notion that, oh, I'm just going to do blindly what my coach tells me to do. And I'm telling you, as a business coach for the last, 10 years, I'm telling you that this policy will not, it will give you some short-term results, because, if they know what they're doing and they tell you to do, you'll get some short-term results. But immediately after that, you will experience a fallout.
Yeah.
Because the decision that came in was not from you, that was somebody else telling you what to do, and it's not the best way for achieving success.
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect. So now I think we're ready for the fourth C. And before I disclose the fourth C, Shiv, I want to tell you, this is where you come in.
Oh.
And yes, and this is a really critical part of business. A business cannot work without the fourth C. So you may have everything in the business, but if you don't have this third thing, it will definitely not start. It will not get moving. But if you don't have the fourth C, you cannot keep it running. And that's why the fourth C that I have for you is actually cash flow.
Oh,
Is
wonderful.
cash flow. Like anything that you do in your business, if it does not bring in more income than expenses, guess what? Doors are shutting down.
Yeah, absolutely. I stress that to my clients as well.
Yes. And you are an expert in this. You understand the finance part of it so well. And that's why I wanted you to be involved in this particular area of our discussion, of how crucial this cash flow is. Like, in the beginning, people say, oh, I have to put in a lot of money and then I'm going to expect returns after 3 years and 5 years. But the 5 years, I just have to put in money. And you know what, there are different schools of thoughts, but again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. That's not my role. I'm going to tell you exactly what the pathways are, and then you pick, okay, you know what, Amit, that sounds perfect to me. What you're suggesting, that's what I'm going to do. Excellent. Because now it becomes your decision. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, at the end of the month, when you're looking at your numbers, you need to look at your numbers in terms of cash flow. Because if you cannot take that negative cash flow for a certain number of months, a certain number of years, then guess what? You're actually going to lose interest. You're going to lose interest in the business, and then it is going to close down. And we've seen that with so many big brands. I mean, we're not even talking about small little brands or solopreneurs. We're looking at multi-million-dollar industries that have collapsed because of this fourth C.
Yeah. So I'll give you an interesting fact. Companies that have realized the opportunity that existed for them during the pandemic, it was amazing. The foresight. So I'll give you an example. Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, 55% of their employees, they were hired in the last 15 months.
Wow.
55%. So that's just one example. So what do they see that a business owner is not able to see? The opportunity. They know that that companies understand in a pandemic or a situation like this, really that thing lasts about 18 to 36 months at the most, right? So you may have a downward graph,
Yeah.
and then there's going to be a growth, and that growth could last for 10 to 12 years.
Yes.
So where did they put their focus on? They spent their money, but they knew where to spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
In hiring people.
Awesome.
55%.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
It is crazy. It's crazy amazing. Yes.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think what business owners, when they look at it, so where should I put the money in? Well, you know what? I think we should just put the money in technology. Well, you can buy technology, spend a lot of money on technology, get, fancy computers and this and that. But if you don't have the talent to use that, it's a waste of money.
Yes, so true. So true. So definitely, I mean, that's,
yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that's where cash flow comes in, because, you might have a little bit of cash flow, negative cash flow for maybe certain period of time. But as long as you've calculated that, you pick up some investment and you say, what, this is what I need to invest in my business. So let's say, for example, you are a small business and you have to put in some money into your equipment. You have to buy some machinery, or you have to buy something that is required for your business to run. Excellent. You have that calculated within your numbers. And if that still works for you, if that's going to generate the income that you want in the next month, next year, if it's already calculated, that's excellent. And if you have that understanding, again, it will go back to this first C that we discussed, that you're being cause over it. You're not just an effect. You're not just saying that, oh, I don't know, I'm just going to do it and let's see. Because then you're not doing it by being cause over it. You're totally being cause if you put things in place. And that's where you're going to see the success in your business.
Absolutely. And so I think it's a change of mindset. If you are going to look at investment in the future, and you have to be careful as to how much, is that investment an expense or investment in the business?
Right.
Some business owners think, well, that's an expense, I can't afford to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you can afford to lose your business,
yeah.
then I agree with it. But if you can't afford to lose your business, don't look at that as an expense, but look at that as an investment in the future.
Exactly. Good. So the last C, the fifth C that we're talking about is the C that will bring it all together. Okay, the fifth C that we're going to talk about, it all brings everything that we've been talking about together. And the fifth C, are you ready for the fifth C?
Absolutely. Yeah.
The fifth C is communication. Communication. That brings everything together. Okay, so even if you're talking about being cause, if you're talking about creativity, coaching, you talk about cash flow, everything is brought together with this fifth C of communication, which is really the key for income.
Mhm.
Communication is the key for income, because you might be an expert, you might be a pro at what you do, but if that information is not communicated out to your audience, to your target audience, then they have no way of knowing what you do, what you offer, and that's how you cannot get in income. So communication is such a key component, and entrepreneurs, business owners need to get out and find more ways of communicating, more channels of communication, so that they can get the results that they want. They can reach more people, and that's how they can achieve more success. Now, there are different processes of communication. So if you just start randomly communicating, it will still help. I mean, I'm not saying no to that, but if you have specific processes in place, and this is one piece that we deal with a lot in training and coaching, like what are the best ways of communication, what is going to give you the maximum results, and I help clients with this specific area of building a strategy around communication. Because if you follow this specific strategy on communication, you actually have to be a genius to fail.
Absolutely. Definitely. So, would you say communication with call to action makes sense? But if you're just communicating and information and there's no call to action, would you say that's a waste of time?
No, actually, I would not say it's a waste of time, because any communication is better than no communication. It has different intents. So if your intention of putting that communication piece is just to give value, then that's it. You don't have to every time say, hey, you know what, do this and then do this and then do this. Because every successful person, if you go to see people who are enormously successful, they don't always have something that they want out of that communication piece that goes out. So it's not always followed by, okay, now that I've given you value, you have to do da 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 da. Sometimes the intent is just to share your experience, just to share something that your clients experience. It might be a success story that you want to share. It might be some experience that you've had with your clients. So if you share enough number of times these communication, then people will take action. They will. The call to action is sometimes automatic. They will find the value in what you share, and then they will follow. Now, call to action is a very, very important component. So majority of your communication needs to come with a call to action. There is no doubt about that, because it is a way of helping. It is a way of helping. So if you give them some tremendous value, but now if you don't give them call to action, you're kind of leaving that halfway.
Mhm.
Right? So if you share with them that, hey, you know what, these are the 5 things that you have to know before you buy your first house. Let's say you're a realtor, and you say, oh, these are the 5 things, and then you must do da 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 da, and there is these things that you have to do. All right, thank you very much. And then the person is listening to this video and it's like, oh my God, I didn't get the second part. Now what do I do? Right? So now if you tell them that, if you have any questions, contact me, do this. Now the sort of the cycle is now complete for them. Okay. So it all depends on communication. What's your intent of doing it? Is it just to share value? Is it just to share your success story? Is it just coming from the point of view of helping? But helping doesn't always mean just giving. You need to help them in a totality of their context. So you give them value, you give them what they can do, and that's where the call to action comes in.
Oh, this is awesome.
Thank
This
you.
really, I think it's communication is one of the most important um, for me, and I think in our daily lives, communicating is part of communication is also listening.
Yes. Yes.
It's an integral part of communication.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say that God has given us 2 ears and one mouth. Right? So you have to be good. You have to be a good listener, and that's how you communicate, right?
Yes.
So yeah, this is really important, and people and the audience, people who are listening to or watching this video cast, I strongly recommend that think about how they're communicating their message to their clients and how they're communicating that message to their own employees as well.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has to be on the same page. It's the same message that has to come from the employees as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so everybody has to know what's being communicated. And I think, myself included, um, we can benefit in acquiring these skills. And not everybody's good at communication. People, need help. And I'm sure, Amit, you can help them with actually hone their skills in communication and what the message is required for their business to their audience, right?
Exactly.
Because nobody knows nobody knows their clients better than the business owner,
Yes.
right? That's
Yes.
why they're in business, right? They
Yeah.
know their clients, but they sometimes just don't know, how do I talk to them?
Yeah. And communication is such a broad topic, Shiv, because it always can be enhanced. It always, so there is no end point for communication. Like you might be a business owner that has 500 employees and 10,000 clients. You still need to enhance your communication. The amount of communication that you do still has to increase. It has to expand because the whole point of expansion is actually increase in communication. It is increase in communication. So communication is important. Even, I mean, we're talking in the context of business right now, where if you're a
Yeah,
solopreneur, entrepreneur, if you're any size business owner, communication is a key piece. And also in your personal life, like how much do you communicate with your family? How much do you know exactly what's going on in your family? How communicative are you in the family? How communicative are you with your friends? Everything is about communication, and the more that you really understand this concept of communication, you will see that's what creates income. And again, when I'm talking about income here, I don't necessarily mean dollars. That's just one component of it. But income, when I'm talking about income, I'm talking about the return that you get. Like, if you're talking about your family, right, the income from the family is the love that you get in return.
yeah,
The admiration that you have for your son, for your daughter, and you express that, you communicate, the hug that you get from them, that's income,
yeah.
right? So it's not necessarily money, that's not just money. Is, don't get me wrong, it's a very important component, money, but that's not the only thing that I'm talking about when I'm talking about communication.
Absolutely. This is amazing. I've noted down all the 5 C's now,
All
and
right.
I'm starting to think where where I need to really change or tweak things in my personal life, in my business life. Um, Obviously, I always think that family first and then business second,
Yeah,
right? If everything is good in the family, everything is good in the business as well, right? So
correct,
you
correct.
can, you
That's
can
so
take
true. That is
you
so
can
true.
take you can take the same 5 C's and transfer them over to every room of your life.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So that's amazing, and I'm sure that people have questions. So what I'm going to share with you next is I'm going to share an ebook that I've written, which people can actually go for. Okay, Shiv, this is a special ebook that I've written, and this has a major component of this is templates. I have lots of templates in this ebook, so people can actually go in and download this ebook for free. The link is yourprofoundsolutions.com/business ebook.
Okay.
Yourprofoundsolutions.com/business ebook. And one of the things that I really find powerful is when people do things themselves, right? Rather than you or me telling our clients what to do, when they apply it by doing it themselves, that's when the results start to show up. That's when discoveries start to show up in their life.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I've done in this ebook is because it's through templates. It's not me telling them what to do. It's like I'm just guiding them through the process. And then they will come up. Like I'll give you an example. In this ebook, Shiv, I have a very specific, it's called Business Foundation Questionnaire. Business Foundation Questionnaire. And there are 20 questions in this template. That's just one of the template, by the way, that I share in this book. And if you go through this questionnaire, if you just write down, because it's a template, so you actually have to write down the answers to those questions yourself. And then you will have so many discoveries just by filling that one template.
Wow.
So that's why I want to offer the audience for today this my ebook for free.
Awesome.
Just go to this link and download this, and you get that for free. I mean, just work on that. And again, I'm here to help you. So if you get stuck on any question, if you don't cannot answer question number 7, question number 11, get back to me, write back to me through my website, or reach out to me. My email address is Amit, AMIT, at yourprofoundsolutions.com. And let's connect, because that's what I'm here. I'm here to help your business exceed in levels that you cannot imagine today.
I'm certainly going to down. I can't miss a free offer, can I now?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll definitely be downloading that and actually having a look at it from a different perspective.
Awesome, Shiv.
And I'm
Thank you.
so
And that's exactly what it's about, right? I mean, we discussed the 5 C's, Shiv, and like you said, family comes first and then is business. And I want to just add to that that conversation here is, before family, it's you. It's you. So we always look at ourselves. Like, if you look at what you're doing personally in your life, in your business, that's what will trigger as to how your family does. And
yes,
then, of course, your business is the third layer. So if you talk about if you have this conversation with someone, like, you're addressing the person first, that individual first, and then we talk about the ripple effect that they are creating around them, because then after that comes the family. Because if the person themselves, if they are going through a lot of pain, and if they have some physically dysfunction going on, if they are not feeling good, then of course their family is going to suffer.
yeah,
Right. And also, it's the other way around in terms of giving results. So if there is a problem with the family, right, if the family relations are not there, not good as it should be, you need to come back, because the problem is before that.
yes,
The
yeah.
problem is before that. The problem is not family, the problem is before that. So it's a really interesting concept, and you're so right, and you're so smart, Shiv, that you picked this up, that though we're talking about business, the 5 C's are 100% applicable in personal life. 100%.
Absolutely. And you know what? Um, People sometimes we hear that somebody died because of a heart attack or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he just died suddenly, or he or she died suddenly. No, it wasn't sudden. That problem had been occurring for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Then one day it just kind of happens, right?
Right.
So
Right.
similarly, if you don't recognize some of the problems as they're occurring, and we don't address it, it's going to go and become a bigger problem, whether it's personal, whether it's business or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think let's not just coast in the business. Let's thrive in the business, not surviving.
Yes.
Thrive in the business, and in order to do
Exactly.
that, you need a good coach. And I applaud you for sharing your business secrets and the business ebook. I'm really excited about it, and I'm definitely going to use some of those techniques. And I probably will be reaching out to you because I will probably have some questions.
Yes, for sure, Shiv. I'll be glad to help you, because I know how many people you are helping. So I want to help a lot of people, and you are doing the same. So that's why we work together. That's the beauty. If you help me build my business, if I help you build your business, of course we're going to reach more people and help more people. That's
Absolutely.
the whole idea. It's all about the ripple effect that we are creating. And I know you are creating that. Your group on Facebook is one of the best groups, one of the best interactive groups that I've seen online.
Really.
So that's an amazing channel for people to join you. And Shiv, how can people get in contact with you?
Uh, so they can contact with me through my website, which is nobiasfinancialservices.ca. That's one way, or they can contact me with through my email with email as well, shiv.kalyan at carte, CARTEWM.com. And obviously my cell number is 647-825-1930. You can reach me through that, or just connect with me through the social media. It's been a lot of work. When I said I started this a long time ago, it didn't happen overnight, right?
Mhm.
It took a lot of work and patience and consistency.
Yes, that's the key. That's the key, Shiv.
Yeah, even the 5 C's, adding consistency somewhere in there with that, with creativity, adding slash consistency is also a good idea, because you have to do the same thing over and over again.
Yes, Actually, it's amazing that you brought that up because it is tied to communication.
Yes.
The consistency is a part of communication. So you spotted that right on. Excellent. And that's what's important, right? I mean, when we are out there, when we're communicating, when we're fulfilling other people's goals, we're helping them achieve their targets. That becomes our win. This becomes the thing that we want to achieve.
Yeah.
So it's just phenomenal. So thank you for having me on this interview, Shiv. I totally appreciate your willingness to do this and inviting me to this amazing platform. I loved sharing the 5 C's with you and your audience. And I really look forward to connecting with you and helping more people.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And I really thank you for your time as well. And, I just want to remind the audience that this is by far not the first and the last episode we're going to do. There are many more to come. I've lined up, throughout this whole year, that Amit, I would hope that you would spare some time that we can have some more conversations on different topics as well, that are
Sure.
going to be helpful to our audience as well. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate it. And with that, it's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.